The Panthers making a sneaky good signing that many fans were clamoring for. With Will Greer's retirement earlier this week, Brady Christensen has come back to Carolina. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Tanner Blue. As usual, talking about Carolina Panthers football. Brady Christensen back on the Carolina Panthers. It feels good. It feels really good. Happy to have Brady Christensen back on the football team. He really means a lot. He's a big veteran presence, and that's what I want to talk about today. But before we get started, guys, as usual, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps a lot. We're trying to build this Panthers community, really talking about Panthers football all day. And the best thing is that it's free, and you get your Panthers updates as soon as they become available. So getting into things today, Brady Christensen coming back to the Carolina Panthers. Let's take a look and see what we got. This news broke a few hours earlier today. Brady Christensen coming back for his sixth season on the team. And this is a big win for a lot of Panthers fans. And there's a number of reasons why. First off, we want to wish Will Greer well in his retirement. He was also a guy the Panthers drafted a few years ago, kind of bounced around the league a little bit, but decided it was time to hang it up after re-signing with Carolina earlier this season. So he comes back for a little bit, retires. This opens up a roster spot for the Carolina Panthers. So what do? They've got an extra spot. There's really a lot of ways they can go with it. Well, there was one guy that was really high on people's lists to bring back to Carolina, and that's going to be Brady Christensen. And why is that? Well, Brady Christensen can play a number of positions. As a matter of fact, just to show you how versatile Brady Christensen is, let's take a look at this article from Darren Gant on the Carolina Panthers website. The Panthers brought back a key piece of their offensive line on Friday, adding depth before the start of training camp. The team re-signed versatile lineman Brady Christensen to a one-year deal. The 29-year-old Christensen has started games at all five positions for the Panthers, making him a versatile piece of what they are building. So that's exactly what I'm talking about when you talk about Brady Christensen. He is versatile. Brady Christensen, like the article said, he's played every position. You know, you look at center, you look at guard, you look at both tackle spots. He's filled in tremendously at every spot whenever his name has been called. A lot of fans remember the whenever he was originally drafted, some people were, I believe it was Matt Rule that was giving him, I don't know, he's got short arms. Well, I think he's done pretty well in his career to make it to his sixth season. So coming out of BYU, he's been able to fill in whenever needed. He started multiple games for a lengthy amount of time, and a lot of people would argue that Brady Christensen is a starter in this league. Unfortunately, he suffered a few injuries here and there, but I think the Panthers definitely make the right decision here. And what can go wrong with beefing up your offensive line? You know, the Panthers go left tackle in free agency. They go left tackle in the NFL draft. And they really make some additions to protect Bryce Young, because without an offensive line, you're really not going to get far in the National Football League. So they bring back another guy. Granted, he's coming off an injury. He's a little bit older. Depth is key because guys are going to go down. Brady Christensen becomes available. So let's take a look a little bit more at the article and see what they're talking about here with Brady Christensen. He was a college left tackle at BYU when he was chosen in the third round of the 2021 draft. But his first full starting gig was at left guard in 2022 when he started all 17 games. Last season, he started 4 games in the first half of the season before suffering a torn Achilles in Week 8 against Buffalo. That was a game Panthers fans would like to forget. In his 5 seasons here, he has appeared in 59 games with 34 starts. So Brady Christensen, no stranger to playing wherever he's needed on the offensive line. And you got to think about it. You look at last season with the Panthers and their offensive line, certainly one of the better units, but they did have injuries. There was injuries to, obviously, Ike Ekwonu at the very last game of the season, but you look at the guard position, Damian Lewis, he got injured a little bit. You look at the right guard position, Robert Hunt, he was hurt last year. You look at Taylor Moton, he's getting up there in age. So this is certainly a good move for the Panthers because these guys could go out at any time. Offensive line is such a luxury position in the NFL that to have a guy at Brady Christensen's level who can come in, who can start right away, who can play any position, that is key. And this happens right before training camp too. So this is huge. He's another body, another veteran presence along that offensive line that can really help out a guy like Monroe Freeling that we talked about earlier this early on the video yesterday. So he's a guy that can really mentor him and bring him along. So this is a great depth signing for the Panthers, and also great when it comes for leadership for the team. Really a great veteran presence in the locker room. Happy to see Brady Christensen back on the team. And a lot of people are really wondering, why they didn't bring Brady Christensen back whenever the season ended. He was a free agent. Did they think he was going to go somewhere? Could he re-sign someone else? I think the Panthers made the right move. They took their time. They understood that he was coming off an injury. Kind of let some things play out here and there, and see where the table fell in the free agency and in the draft. I guess they had a feeling that Brady was going to be available, and he was. So he's been able to come back in, and he's going to be able to come in and play right away if he needs to. Obviously, coming off that injury, that is a huge injury for an offensive lineman. But, I think the offensive line is solidified as is. But you go down with an injury, this guy's going to be able to step right in. He's going to be able to play. There's not going to be anything to worry about with Brady Christensen coming in. For a lot of the games that he's played as a Panther, I thought he's deserved to be a starter in this league for a long time. It's always kind of shocked me a little bit how he couldn't quite seem to carve out a long-term starting role on this team, considering the offensive line issues that we face. Granted, there were some times he become a long-term starter, but I thought for the most part he'd always played well, especially at left tackle, where some people were questioning his arm length. We happen to see that a lot with a lot of NFL teams and scouts and GMs nowadays. They're obviously always questioning someone's arm length. Are they long enough to play left tackle or right tackle? Well, Brady Christensen has showed that he's been able to do that. Coming out of BYU, he was a little bit of an older prospect, but the Panthers get him in the third round, and he's still here to this day, 29 years old. He's coming back for a sixth season. So that is fantastic news for the Carolina Panthers. So training camp's getting ready to come up. We know the offensive line is going to be solidified. This does leave a little bit of a question at quarterback now. That's something else I want to touch on real fast. You come down to Bryce Young, it's Kenny Pickett, and it's Haynes King, the undrafted free agent out of Georgia Tech. That is someone else that you have to watch out for. This is going to maybe give Haynes King some room to maybe run that second, third string for Kenny Pickett to see what he can do there. But do the Panthers maybe make another additional move? They bring Christensen in. Do they cut someone else to bring in another quarterback to compete? That's something that we're going to have to keep our eyes open for as the season progresses. But as for right now, Brady Christensen, welcome back to the Carolina Panthers. It is good to see you, sir. Always good to have that extra depth on the team and that extra veteran leadership, and a guy that can play some good football once the time comes. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, make sure to like and subscribe before you get out of here. We're trying to build up this Panthers community, and without a doubt, we will see you on the next video. Thanks.